Now let's bring in founding partner and Washington correspondent at Puck, Julia Ioffe. Julia, this particular venue, one of the biggest entertainment complexes in all of Russia. Put it in context for us. Where is it in town? Why is it so important to the Russian people? And why do you think it was targeted?
Well, it is on the outskirts of Moscow, and it is a big, fancy concert venue. It's where the biggest stars come to play when Western stars would come and play in Moscow, and the big Russian stars play as well. It was a symbol of the luxury that Russia had accumulated and built up over the two decades of Putin's power.
And the U.S. Embassy previously warned about plans by extremists to carry out attacks in Moscow. Is there any reason to believe the U.S. had information that it perhaps didn't feel comfortable sharing with the Kremlin ahead of today's attack?
Well, one of the last things to go after the 2014 invasion of Ukraine by Russia was counterterrorism cooperation. It lasted for many more years after that, even over the strenuous appeals of people in the American intelligence community that it was useless and that it was legitimizing some of what the Kremlin was doing. Shortly before you and I sat down to tape this, we got word that ISIS has in fact claimed responsibility for this attack. In the hours before we got this claim, people were pointing fingers every which way at Ukraine, at the Russian state security services themselves, but now it seems we have a more definitive answer.
And tensions clearly high right now. There's the war in Ukraine, Alexei Navalny's death, and Putin's re-election. Do you think any of that precipitated what we saw today?
Politically, inside Russia, the repressions have been overwhelming and absolutely crazy inside Russia. People are going to jail for leaving flowers at makeshift memorials for Navalny, for resharing social media posts. And coming out of this election, Putin was trying to show that he is fully in control of Russia. He is the only ruler. He is undisputed. He has everything completely on lock. And this coming just 5 days later is a huge slap in the face.
So what do you think is going through Putin's head right now?
Probably words I can't say on the air. But what I will say is that, look, Russia has been subject to many, many terrorist attacks in the past. It hasn't for a while. But whenever there was a terrorist attack in Russia, the response was never enlightened. The first response was to go into the mostly Muslim North Caucasus region of Russia with overwhelming force. People were disappeared, tortured, jailed, often executed in these counterterrorism operations. And the second step was to crack down at home on whatever political, democratic press freedoms Russians had remaining. So I'm sure we'll see the latter. But the problem is that most of Russia's military is now tied up in Ukraine. So what is it going to do in response to an attack like this by ISIS? What kind of military resources does it have left to respond when everything is bogged down in Ukraine?
We really appreciate the time. Founding partner and Washington correspondent at Puck, Julia Ioffe, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.